welcome back to Podium Pop. My name is Celine, and I'm here with my co-host Gracie, along with some special guests. We have the Lap It Like It's Hot podcast on this week for the Podium Pop Pals episode. We're super excited to talk more about them, more about Indycar with them, and we'll do a bit of an introduction. But first, before we get started, make sure you go follow us on social media. We post our episodes on Spotify and on YouTube. We also post content on TikTok and on Instagram as well. So make sure you follow us, and let's go ahead and pop the bottle and get into this week's episode.
Let's do it.
So we have the Lap It Like It's Hot podcast. If you all want to do a bit of an introduction for yourself.
Sure. Monica, go ahead. You go first.
All right, perfect. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Monica, and we're located in the Chicagoland area. We started the Lap It Like It's Hot podcast in February of this year, so we're still very new to the podcasting world, but we clearly love to yap and talk, so we were like, hey, let's do this. But a little bit about me outside of motorsport. I am a huge music buff. I love anything that makes sound. I am married to a DJ, a musician, so there's always music in the background. And a little bit about Milena and I. Fun fact, we used to be neighbors, and that's how we met.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we used to be next door neighbors. So, and sadly, Monica moved away, maybe like 5 minutes away, but it still burns a little bit. So, but my name is Milena. So, I grew up in Chicago as well. How I got into I remember the exact conversation Monica and I had when we decided that we were going to start a podcast. It was New Year's Eve. I apologize. And, both of our husbands were working. And so we went out for dinner and we're like, you know what, let's just do it. I just like, let's just start it. Like, you know what I mean? Just all the fun stuff just kind of happens that way. So I'm like, let's do it. So in February that we started it. Fun fact about me, I'm a registered nurse. Now I'm a nurse educator now. So I don't work directly with patients anymore, but I onboard all the new nurses and I love teaching. I am married. My husband is a Chicago police officer, so cop-nurse combination. You can't really go wrong with that, right? Monica feels very safe with me whenever we travel. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for having us. Like that first conversation that you guys had, like just totally reminds me of me and Monica too. They were just like, are you doing the intro? Should I do the intro? I don't know. Did you do it last time? I did it last time. You know what I mean? So
we're always doing that. Like, wait, who did the intro last week?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get started. I know you all have an IndyCar podcast. You mainly focus on IndyCar. How did you get into motorsport and IndyCar?
Monica actually turned me on to IndyCar. So my dad, I'm actually a first generation Italian. My parents came from Italy. My dad actually grew up like a few blocks away from the Ferrari factory, from where they test and near Maranello. So he just kind of passed that trade on to me. So I initially, just like most of my knowledge base, I'd say is more so the F1. But like like you get priced out of it. Like we're not able to go to those races anymore. I went to COTA in 2021 and my dad took me to Indy when they were racing in Indy like the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. So I was like maybe 10 or 11 years old the first time I went to an F1 race. So, I mean, being there was so much fun. And then again, when Monica moved next door, and of course, you know about IndyCar, the Andretti, legacy and things like that. But Monica's like, hey, I'm going to the Indy 500. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Why can't we go? Like,
can I also go?
Can I come with you and just be like on your coattails for a little bit?
Yeah. And for me, so I started watching F1 in like a mini capacity, like in high school. Mm-hmm. My group of friends, they were car people. So I always had F1. Like I remember when the F1 game came out and like Lewis Hamilton was on the cover and I was like, who is this? Right? Like I had no idea. And I started watching a little bit. And then in college, I actually worked at a sports bar. And so racing was always on and I had to know at least a little bit to know like what's going on, what channel it's on. So it's always been like in the background for me. And then of course, during the pandemic, my husband was like, I'm really bored. so what do you want to do? Do you want to rewatch old Indy 500 races? And I was like, yes, we have nothing better to do. And then, we watched the Drive to Survives and all of that fun stuff. And then we, like Milena mentioned, we went to our first Indy 500. And there is something about 33 cars coming at you at going like 200 miles an hour where you're like, hell yeah, let's do this. Like, I want to know more about these people. I want to know about their lives. And then the rest, I guess, is history. I was like, I want more friends to come to the races.
Yes.
So, Milena and her husband started going, and now it's like, I think it's just part of our everyday. It's crazy how like we just became consumed by IndyCar, but I kind of got into it through F1, which is kind of the gateway into all of this fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's like the standard.
Yeah, we were the same way. We were F1 fans, and then we were like, we need more. Like, we need more of this. Like, F1 isn't enough anymore. But then also it was like, we need to be able to go to more, and even the F1 races, there are only 3 in the United States, but also they are really expensive. We're like, something else has to be out there.
Yeah.
And we always like knew that IndyCar was a thing, but we never really got invested. And of course, we heard of the Indy 500, but we were just like, let's just go for it. Let's start watching it. I think we watched 100 Days to Indy first, and that was kind of like, okay, it's a nice little like intro, like backstories of some of the drivers, and now like here we are,
Coming
a year later.
Exactly. Well, did you guys hear, of course, like with all the F1 movie stuff, Brad Pitt pretty much said the same thing, that he's just like, now that he's into F1, he's like, it's not enough. I need more. So that's why now he starts like, he was, talking up IndyCar and NASCAR and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah. I just actually watched like my first NASCAR race last weekend. It's like the one that I haven't like watched too much of yet. I'm giving it a try.
Same.
We're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah.
I this year really got into like IMSA, and
Yes.
I'm like all about IMSA now. But like again, like it's just almost like, okay, I need more. Like I'm like, when is it enough?
Yeah.
Like I don't, and even then, like I'm overwhelmed. Like some weekends, I'm like, oh, IMSA's on at 2 p.m. and then IndyCar's on at 1 p.m. So I'm going to have 2 screens. And then I got to keep up with what's going on with the Formula One. And all, it's like almost like, and then yet I still want to watch more things. Like, I don't know how that's going to work out. We're going to see.
It's all about a balance.
I'm like, maybe I should start watching Rally Car. Like, it's going too far. It's too far now.
You're in the thick of the addiction for sure. Like,
You need like a command center basically with like multiple screens so that you could just keep watching at all times.
I do. I just really need like almost my own like sports bar in my house.
Yeah.
Just like a bunch of screens, have it nice set up. The channels are already on there. I think that's going to be the only way for me to actually keep up with everything. So
You need like a man cave.
I do need a man cave.
yeah. A she shed, right?
Oh,
you
a
need
she shed.
a nice she shed. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, awesome. Well, moving on, you are IndyCar fans. Who are your favorites?
Well, for me, it's no secret that Andretti is my favorite, even though I just love, I'm also a Bears fan. I'm a Cubs fan. So I like the pain, I think. So that's why that I'm the Andretti fan that I am.
As a Bengals fan, I totally get that.
Right?
Yep.
I know.
For me, like I'm a McLaren girly. I follow McLaren across all the different mediums. But I hate to say this, but like I like all the drivers and I love all the teams. I love cheering for them. There are a few that I don't cheer for, but 9 times out of 10, I'm like, oh my God, so-and-so's winning. That's amazing. So
right? It's not many that I feel like I think we cheer for pretty much everybody. And we've had this conversation before. There's really no like villains anymore. You know how like some drivers were just like total villains and they're just, you know what I mean? I feel like right in this day and age right now that we're watching it, we don't really have that. So it's easy to cheer for multiple people.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Almost more than half the grid, I feel like we could cheer for.
Oh yeah. Do I want Pato to win the 500 so I can bawl my eyes out and melt into a puddle?
Yes,
of course.
you do.
But if Christian Rasmussen wins a race, I'm probably going to tear up as well because that's incredible, right? So I think it's nice to be able to cheer for, 25 drivers, a weekend.
No, I'm the same way. We cheer for McLaren as well. But like with IndyCar, it is almost like, especially like more so I'm just rooting for a new race winner. Like obviously watching Alex Palou is amazing, and the fact that we're watching it during this time is amazing. But I'm also like, I would love to see like another first win. Like I want like Christian Rasmussen to get his first win. Like Nolan Siegel, I want him to do so good. Like it's exciting to watch. Meanwhile, in like Formula One, I'm like, McLaren didn't win. That's not cool. Like, although that doesn't happen very often anymore.
There's a lot of swearing for like when I see Charles Leclerc when he's just like tumbling backwards. I'm like, F this. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. Why do I do this? And a Ferrari fan. So again, keep those hits coming with me. So.
So, we want to talk about the races that you've been to, and we know you guys are going to Milwaukee this coming weekend, but what has been like your favorite race you went to, or your like favorite moment, something that stood out to you?
Oof. We've had some fun moments. I mean, this year I think it was the most eventful for us, just because like this was my first Indy 500, and we actually got the opportunity to be part of like the pre-race celebrations and things like that. So that was a very cool experience. And then I weaseled my way to get a picture with Mario Andretti somehow. That will just be like embedded in my brain forever. But I love my Road America. I love that track just in general. I know Monica feels the same. It's just like, it's been there for a while. It's established. It's like just very fun for the fan experience. It's been compared to Spa just because of like it's kind of woodsy, outdoorsy, campy kind of vibes. So Road America for me is like will forever and always be my favorite.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, Road America is definitely like one of the ones that at least we've been to, that you just, when we show up and we drive through the main gate, we're just like, the vibes are immaculate, right? Like people, there's a like decoration contest for your golf cart, and there's people with these like crazy, like last year I think I saw like 5 Georginas like just sitting on a golf cart, right? And it's just, the food is great, the like Milena said, the vibes are great, and the access is incredible, right? There's no paddock, it's just pit lane, so you could literally stand right behind Pato's pit box and just watch the race from there if you wanted to. Like that access, cool. You're never going to get that at an F1 race, right? Like you'd have to basically sell a kidney to be able to afford to do that, right? But that kind of access I love. One of the tracks I haven't gone to yet that I want to go to is Laguna Seca. I want to go to that one so bad, just because it gives off the same vibe, but just being out there in like the Monterey area, like I just want to see what it's like. I also want to go to Rossi's homish race and be there and see what that vibe is. But Road America, for those that haven't been there, 10 out of 10. Definitely recommend.
Yeah, Road America got added to my bucket list this year. I was able, before this year, Watkins Glen was like my number one track that I wanted to visit. And I was able to visit this year. So Road America has now moved its way up into first. I was so close to going to Road America a couple weeks ago for the IMSA race. I think like something very small could have pushed me over the edge and I would have gone up. But I didn't go, and I do regret it. But it just seems like such a good vibe, and it's similar. It sounds similar to how like Mid Ohio is too. Like Mid Ohio is it's like in the middle of like cornfields, and it's very, I can't say this word.
Rural. Ooh, shoot, rural.
I can't say that word.
You got it in my head. I was like, wait, I can't say it either.
But it's just like it's very much so like it's like a race for the fans.
Oh yeah.
And there are some races where you're like not that it's a bad thing, but it's like a race for like the general public. Like I feel like St. Pete, it was like definitely more advertised for like people like, hey, come check out IndyCar, that kind of thing, where like races that are a little bit more secluded, like the Mid Ohio race and Road America, there's like the people going to that race are like hardcore fans. They've been going to it for years. They went with their parents and they went with their parents kind of thing. So it's always super fun to go to races like that. because you're just like, oh my gosh, like the people sitting next to me, like they know their stuff, like they know what they're talking about here. So
yes. And like Road America is huge. I want to say it's the longest track on the in the season.
Yeah.
So like we actually this year, because I've been to Road America a few times, I actually went for the IMSA race. Maybe it was like 2020 or 2021, something like that. But like that, I didn't realize how big it was, and we didn't explore the whole thing. I mean, it's a 4-mile track.
Yeah.
So we actually were fortunate enough. I'm not doing that on foot. So we got a golf cart. So, and we drove around it, and it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Every single part of that track, wherever you sit, you have a view. So yeah, it's awesome. Highly, highly recommend.
Oh, and people bring their RVs and things like that. Like we saw like this camp setup where they brought their own bar, and it was like a Road America themed bar, and they had memorabilia everywhere. And you could tell that these people have been coming for like years and years and years and years. So it's definitely one of those places where like the one thing we haven't done yet, because I don't camp. Milena doesn't camp.
I don't camp.
We want to do the RV experience at least, like, and stay overnight. Like we've stayed like near the track. This year we stayed in Sheboygan, which is like 20 minutes away. But I think we still have to get the real Road America experience and glamp.
Yeah.
Or to see what happens after, you know, the fans leave and the party starts after the race.
Well, there are, I know we did try and get, there's cabins on the property as well, but they are very sought after, and you have to, you know, put in for a lottery for it and stuff like that. So that is definitely on our bucket list too. If we can get on that lottery,
that would be
win
cool.
that lottery.
That'd be so cool.
I did look up, I saw like the cabins option when I was looking to possibly go for the IMSA race. I was like, oh, like, I wonder how much that would be. And I mean, it was sold out, obviously, but I was like, oh, that's pricey. Like it would be really cool though. I can't even convince her to do an RV.
I really don't like camping in any sort of form.
I you know what? No judgment. Like, I mean, I have to hype myself up too for a year to do an RV trip.
Yeah.
So like, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I did tent camping for some races up at Mid-Ohio, not the Indycar race, but some IMSA races up there. I did tent camping, and it was a fun experience. I was there for 2 nights, and I could never do more than 2 nights. And I did feel like just gross and tired afterwards. So like, I don't think I could do it for like an IndyCar race. But for like more of like it was much more low key, and it was definitely more chill. I survived it. But it is tough. It's just so convenient to do camping at the track that like sometimes it's like, well, it's so cheap and it's right there, and you don't have to worry about, you know, traffic getting in and parking and all of that. So like, the convenience is there. It's just tough.
I did see. I think it's Silverstone next year. I could be wrong on the track. But I think at Silverstone they're doing like an all-female campsite. And I was like, okay, that I would do. That would be super cool. I don't know.
That would be so fun.
I know that would be so
much fun.
But then in that I was like, oh, well, maybe I could go camping.
Yeah. That's maybe. Like a bachelorette party vibe.
Right?
Right? Like,
So you did mention for the Indy 500 how you were able to be part of like the pre-race event. Tell us more about that, because you mentioned it. I think we were talking about it on like in the comments of one of our lives, and I was like, Gracie, write that down. We need to know more information about this.
Yeah. So I know, like I mentioned, my husband is a police officer, so it is an opportunity for police officers, military. They offer this experience for them and their families to put in. Pretty much if you apply for it, you get it, kind of thing. I don't think there's like too much like knowledge around it if you know about it. But either like the day of, when you go and like they give you a t-shirt, they give you like a little pack like with snacks and stuff like that. They give you kind of like where you're going to be that day. So the majority of us was holding it was like this football field size flag that we kind of practice with. We had to put it together all together and things like that. How many people do you think it was, Monica? Maybe like It's like 100, not even 100.
100
maybe
people, probably
people,
max.
like with families and stuff like that. And then some of the kind of like older, maybe like more established, they've probably done it a few times, actually will hold the flags in the pit lane, like for the national anthem. So they'll be like next to the drivers and things like that, which was really cool. You get all access to the grounds. We were going underneath the velvet rope, which has never happened for us ever. So it felt pretty empowering that we're just like, wait, we could go there, like we could be on the track when no one's supposed to be. So it was a very cool experience. And then they also give you tickets after all the pre-race stuff to like a certain section, and then you guys all sit together for the race as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of those moments where we walked out like right before the festivities started. And so you're standing basically right into turn 1 and you look around and it's just mobs of people. And you're like, I'm like in the track. Like
I'm walking on the track right now.
I can stand, like I could stand on the track. Like this is
like the bricks, like we can go to the bricks. Like we didn't because we were just like, that's too far. I have too much respect for the bricks right now. We're not going to do that. But like, yeah, we could. And we were standing like where the flag was. I don't know if you were watching, and I don't know what they showed on TV. I feel like they didn't show everything, but there was like the paratroopers that were coming down.
Oh yeah.
And they landed right where we were.
Cool.
So like it was like right in front of us, and apparently like one of the paratroopers proposed to his girlfriend
that
day too, which like I'm sure was not on the broadcast, which was pretty cool to see. So
oh my gosh, wow, imagine that.
Right?
That's crazy.
Right? She couldn't say no. I mean, like that's the perfect thing. You can't say no in that situation.
Perfect plan. That is so cool. Yeah, we went to the Indy 500 last year. But also the last 2 years we went to the Indy Road Course. And Indy Road Course is super cool because it's like there's not a lot of people there. Yeah.
Yeah. And we did that a few years ago as well.
Yeah. And it's so different because that was also like the very first IndyCar race we went to was the Indy Road Course. We're like, oh, okay, like that's pretty good. And then the second race we went to was the Indy 500. We're like, oh my gosh, the difference is crazy.
Yeah.
Insane.
But it's so cool with the Indy Road Course because like you get to like go onto the track and there's so much more access. And like, I just remember walking it like on the track being like, oh my gosh, IndyCar drives like where I am.
The race just finished.
It's right here. The track is still hot. Like this is crazy.
No, the track was so hot.
I know.
I had a piece of the track get stuck to the bottom of my shoe, and it's still there.
Oh yeah.
Over a year later.
So you took a marble home with you.
I
Nice.
sure did.
I know. We were the second time I went. I was like picking up little marbles and putting them in my pocket. I was like,
nice.
I was like, this is so cool.
I know, right? That's super cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my oldest brother, or my middle brother, I have 2 older brothers. He had a cool opportunity to go to Monaco.
Oh,
that is cool. Oh God, this was probably 20 years ago now. Like he was young, he was just like out of college and stuff like that. But he went and he did the same thing that like you're able to walk the track obviously right afterwards. And he was like picking up marbles on the side too. And he brought one home for me. And like at that time, I'm like, all right, cool. Now I'm like, that's amazing. Well, I should have appreciated that more than I actually did back then.
Yeah. Do you still have them?
I'm sure he does. I don't know. I do not have mine. It did not make the move to my new house.
Got off of the move.
You like see, you're like, what? Yeah. What are these? Anyways,
what are these exactly? Yes.
So this is a pretty exciting year for IndyCar. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but Alex Palou is absolutely just like dominating this whole year. What are your thoughts on his domination? How his season's been so far? I mean, he's been unstoppable. Like we always say, like Alex Palou is inevitable. Like he's always going to be there. But what are your thoughts on it?
I just think he is just a raw talent. It looks like he's got a great relationship with his team. You have to have a combination of everything. It's not just the driver that does it, it's the team as well. And they are just, I mean, they're so focused. He, finally figured out ovals, which is really what now makes him truly unstoppable, right? Because before I think ovals was really his downfall. But he is truly that just like raw talent and just, he figured it out.
Yeah, he really did.
I feel like it's the, like, the Alex Palou storyline could have gone so many different ways, right? Like, it's the what ifs. Like, what if he actually left Ganassi and went to McLaren? Would he still have had this type of, domination? Zach has been very open about saying he wanted him in McLaren so that he can feed him into that F1 seat that now Oscar sits in, right? So it's like that what if, but you think about it, right? Like, he has been consistent since he came on, right? 2022, when Power won the championship, he was still consistent. It still came down to, like, he could have had 5 championships. I think the litigation and all the drama around McLaren, I think there's a lot going on in his personal life that made him not be Mr. Consistent. But this is generational talent. This is the Max Verstappen, like, wipe the floor. I have been perfect in every way, shape, or form. And if I'm not perfect, I'm still on the podium, right? Like, what? Like, you look at that and you think to yourself, like, your first oval win is the Indy 500?
Crazy.
That's crazy.
What? Like, Milena and I, like, granted, the Indy 500 this year maybe wasn't like the crazy checker finish that we were expecting it to be. But I remember we looked at each other and went, holy crap, we just witnessed history happen with this guy winning. And I'm really interested to see if he's going to take this momentum into next year, right? A lot of people have comments around, oh, now it's boring. He keeps winning. In IndyCar, there's multiple winners. But if you strip that away and you see, like, he's got an incredible team. Barry Wanzer, he's incredible. And then you think about, like, Dario Franchitti as his coach.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Perfect.
It truly is, like, everything. It really is the team. Chip Ganassi has been so impressive too. Like, they have some amazing talent on their team. And I know there was so much, like, talks about, like, really that last seat that Kiff and Simpson ended up getting. And everyone's like, I don't know if he's the right choice. And he's been doing fantastic this year too. Yeah. So, like, it's really, like, truly, like, the team knows what they're doing. The management on that team has a really good grasp of what it takes to be a good driver and how to coach them to be good drivers. And it truly is, like you said, it's like the perfect combination of everything happening, where it's like there's something so special there for, like, the whole team in general.
Yeah. Well, think about it this way, right? Like, I'm sorry, you're Kiff and Simpson, you have Alex Palou and Scott Dixon as your teammates. Like, you can't ask for better mentors, right? And then you look at the Shank team, and you're like, both Shanks are in the top 10 of the championship, and you're like, how that's just an alliance, right?
Yeah.
So I can there's teams just going, that's not legal, something's wrong, they're doing I'm like, no, it's just working. Like,
they're just
Chip,
great.
Yeah.
Like,
Chip knew what he was doing. He put the right puzzle pieces together, and
He's a mastermind.
It's history now.
He's a mastermind.
Yeah.
he really is.
He
Yep.
is.
On the other side of that, while Chip Ganassi has been having a great year, Penske has not had the best year so far. What do you think? What do you think is the issue there?
What's going on there?
It's a little bit of bad luck. It's a little bit of they got caught cheating. It's a little, it's hard because they're still talented.
Yeah.
You got willpower. I know we're going to talk about willpower in a little bit, but, like, I just think it's just one thing just happens, when it rains, it pours kind of situation. And, we have our thoughts about Penske in general, that we're just like, it's, a little bit of a conflict of interest. You own the series and you own a team.
Yeah.
You can't have it all, dude. Like, I think, I think it's going to catch up with him, and here we are.
Yeah. It started to, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's the pressure. Honestly, I think this concept of Penske Perfect has been this coin. They coined it in NASCAR. They coined it in IndyCar. Roger expects perfection. But when you create a culture where that perfection is just either ill intent, is it, I'm going to push the limits of what I can do to make Roger proud of our team, right? Like, it's crazy to think that no one knew what an attenuator was until this year.
No,
right?
literally.
It's like push to pass gate last year was just so poorly managed between Joseph Newgarden and the team. And then you have 2022 Indy 500 red flag gate, where if Joseph was leading, would they have red flagged the 500, right? It just creates this pressure of I got to perform, I have to perform. You add that with bad luck of IndyCar, of course you're going to have a crappy season.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it's happening. We also have to be conscientious. After Attenuator Gate, they basically got rid of their 3 biggest people.
Yeah.
They got rid of all the bosses.
Yeah, they did.
And I know we talked about this on our podcast, but like how many people were crying in their cubicles after all of this because they just couldn't handle the pressure of like what is going on, right?
Yeah.
The unknown too, like what does this mean if they're getting rid of people, and what does this mean for us? What does this mean for the team? And I think that along with a bunch of stuff happening in the political climate lately too surrounding Penske and IndyCar in general, like they've got to be like so overwhelmed, feeling the pressure. Like the people at the factory too. Like I can't imagine like being like it basically just being like, am I gonna have a job moving forward? Like what's going on?
Well, and even like the commercials at the beginning of the season with Joseph Newgarden, and like you throw Tom Brady in the mix and you compare Newgarden to Tom Brady, and that talk about pressure. Like it's. Yeah, my heart goes out to Newgarden because he's, you see his frustration and things like that, like throughout the year, and just the cameras are in your face.
Yeah.
I can't imagine mentally what that man is going through.
No, we talked about it. We were like, unfortunately, so many people, like, he always kind of had like people like hated on him a little bit more. We were like, now after the season, people are hating on him so much, and Celine and I were like, hey, stop being so mean.
Yeah.
Like, we might like that guy, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I know.
really all of them, too. Like, Scotty Mack has been having such a frustrating, like, gosh, there was that one period where it was, like, every single race something really, like, unfortunate was happening. And, it's, like, the luck, but I think it's also, like, you're like, okay, well, what else can happen? And then something does. And, Willpower finally got that win. So, I mean, that's great. But then you also have people talking about how Willpower's not going to have a seat at Penske next year.
Yeah.
And while I personally think, like, David Malukas is doing fantastic and he's proving that he should have, a spot for him and hopefully a spot for him in one of the higher up teams. But it's also like, Willpower got Penske their win. Like, how do you justify, like, having him taking away his seat in that case?
Right. And he's been the highest performer of the Penske trio all season.
Yeah.
And he's the one that doesn't have any seat like next year. It doesn't make sense. Maybe there's something else going on in Penske's mind. I mean, nobody can replace Willpower. No. I love Malukas. He's a Chicago boy and we adore him. But is there something we don't know? Is there something that, we talked about this in one of our latest episodes that like Penske usually doesn't hide good news. Nobody hides good news. So like, I really like the longer this goes on, I mean, I really think that we're not going to see Willpower in the grid, at least in a Penske seat. That is.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like David is a Penske driver, right? We have to always remember that David is signed to Penske. Penske pays for him to drive for Foyt, right? So he doesn't have to go right away, right? Like this is if they do decide to promote him to Penske, this is very unlike Penske. Penske normally brings up drivers that have poles, that have wins, that have, multiple podiums, right? Like when you thought about Joseph Newgarden moving over, right? David Malukas is almost there, but he still has, I think, a year or two to really prove himself for that seat. Why would you take somebody who is consistent, who has all-time records in poles, your one win for the year, at least for now, and say, hey, let's put in this new guy that doesn't know the team, doesn't know the culture, after a season that you basically are writing off, right? Yeah. That baffles me. And with so many contracts up in 26, what's the rush?
Yeah.
What is the absolute rush here?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing too, like you said, he's really young and he doesn't have the wins and the polls to back up everything. And obviously he's talented. There's no denying that. But it is true, like, especially after a season like this, you need like 3 guys that are going to like put their heads down and work basically. And they're going to know how Penske runs, and they're going to get you the wins and the poles, hopefully, that you're looking for next year. But to bring in a new driver in that environment, like the pressure would be insane for him to like step into these shoes. And there is no rush. Like, give him another year at Foyt. Like, let him cook a little bit longer. He's got some time. But I slightly understand there being a little bit of urgency because there's so many talented guys on the grid, especially the younger ones, like coming up, that it's almost like, oh my gosh, like if we don't move him up, like what's going to happen? Like, we've seen contracts these days, like what do they even mean? Like with Formula One and IndyCar in general, like it's like, what is the point of the contract these days? So maybe they do feel a little bit of like urgency because they're like, oh no, like what if someone tries to steal David from us? And like, which I don't, with the top teams, I don't see there being any like movement much other than this like possible willpower move, which again, I don't agree with, but I don't know. There's just so much young talent though coming up in the rookies, and then the drivers that are in their first or second year, but then also in Indy Next as well. Like Dennis Hauger is like doing fantastic, and he needs like a spot on the IndyCar grid, but like where do you put him?
And where's he gonna where would he go?
It all depends on willpower, right? Yeah. Like if willpower does end up not, the tides are showing that willpower is not going to be in that Penske seat. Like at this point, I unless he wins Milwaukee and Nashville, I don't see him being in that seat. If that's the case and David moves up, we got an empty Foyt seat. Both JHR seats are open, maybe an RLL and an MSR. Mm-hmm. Dennis is an Andretti driver. Where is he? Like Louis went to RLL and is doing great, but like Andretti is also going to have a problem if they're not going to move people around in their team to have a feeder, because all their good, talented Indy Next drivers are going to other teams that they don't have alliances with. Mm-hmm. So I feel like IndyCar is starting to become a little bit like F1, where there's not enough seats for the feeder series to feed. Mm-hmm. And you have now F2 drivers coming into Indy Lights because there's no way to get into F1 anymore. Yeah. And we're getting amazingly too much talent, which is great. But we're not moving to 29, 30 cars. Yeah. It's not going to happen. And in 2028, the rumor is there's going to be less cars on the grid. So how are we... Dennis is probably like, I don't want to win the championship so I can stay one more year. Because just let me just race the 500 and then call it like, what is going to happen? We're just waiting for silly season at this point, and it's just like waiting for the willpower shoe. Yeah. And I'm like, just do something.
It's just almost exactly like we saw in F1 last year with like Carlos Sainz. Like we're like, nothing can happen until we know where Carlos is going. And it's the same thing here with willpower. And you mentioned how there's so much talent and there's not enough seats, and like it's so hard because like I'm the last one to say, oh, like we gotta take them off. Like I don't want any of them to go. Like that's the thing, is I don't want any driver on the grid to be like losing their seat, because again, we talked about earlier, I like almost everyone on the grid I like love. Yeah. But I'm also like, but there's so much good talent. I'm like, what do we do here? Like maybe we make like a second grid
series.
I know. Could there be a second series or something?
Yeah,
like I don't know.
Open wheel series.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Are there any other like up and coming talent, maybe some newer guys on the grid, or anyone from Indy Next, or any of the rookies that you think could one day be in one of those upper teams, maybe win the Drivers' Championship?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think outside of Dennis, Caio Collet looks promising. I do see Caio having luck in IndyCar. Lockie Hughes, I think he's going to do well. But current grid, even like if you think about like Schwartzman and, I count some of these as rookies, like less than 2 years, right? Louis Foster. Mm-hmm. I could see Louis Foster, if he moves to a good team, I could see him be a champion. Yeah, I think absolutely. He's got what it takes to do that. But what's incredible about IndyCar is that there's no consistency. There's no, like, you can be in RLL and you could technically win the championship technically, right? Like if you have a bad year, you get moved from RLL to Juncos. You might not have that year be your great year, but then you might win the championship 2 years later. Like there's so many moving pieces where it's like some of these great talents that are younger, they might win some races, but they're never going to get a championship, right?
Yeah.
Which is sad,
Yeah,
right?
It's
But
frustrating. Yeah.
but then I'm like, is Pato going to ever win a championship? Is Colton ever going to win a championship? Like those are guys that are veterans, but they're still young. Like, call it crazy. I would love Rinus VeeKay to win a championship in the right car, right? So it's so hard when you have the Alex Palou's, the Powers, the Newgardens, the Dixons, they're just hoarding all of their championships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, and you have those teams like the Andretti's, the Penskes, and the Chips that, how much their budget is compared to like the rest of them that they, everyone else doesn't have the budget, and they're, but those teams are a little bit, they're all in the even playing field, and you have these like larger teams that just, they just have more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Again, it's hard because I want the people to move up to the higher teams, but again, like the Scott, thinking of the older drivers like Scott Dixon, Will Power, they're still getting wins. In fact, they're getting wins more often than the younger guys. So it's like we don't necessarily want to move them out. Like, and it's same thing, like kind of with F1, like the older guys in the grid are still doing fantastic. Like Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso. Like while they're not maybe doing as fantastic as they were, they're still like proving that they deserve to be there. So like not even, you can't even like consider that as like like make room for the younger guys. Like but then you're like, okay, well the younger guys need to go to make room for even younger than them, but they haven't gotten a chance to prove themselves yet. It's just like it's a double-edged sword there. You can't really, there's no right answer to it. But luckily I don't have to make those decisions. I don't.
Right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I know, thank God. I mean, and it definitely makes very interesting viewership for us, like as fans, to be like, what's going to happen, all the drama and stuff like that that's behind it, because we thrive on drama.
Yeah.
Right? So we all.
I love it. I love it. Yep, absolutely. Should we play our game?
Yeah, we have two quick little games. We have a game that's most likely to, but before we do that, we want each of you to build an IndyCar team. We'll go 3 seats for this with drivers that have never driven an IndyCar. So like you can't do like a Teo Porcher because he did a few races. So you have to do drivers. It can be from any series like NASCAR, Formula One, IMSA. Build a perfect IndyCar team without IndyCar drivers. Or you are perfect, I guess.
I mean, okay, so I will be honest. I don't know a whole lot of like drivers outside of like F1 and IndyCar.
That's so fair.
It can be Formula One.
It can all be Formula One.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to think of like who would be. I like the drama. I like the ones like let's throw Max and George together, right?
Please.
Let's see what happens with them. Like they would destroy each other, and that would be so much fun to watch.
Then you could put them against each other, and then have like I don't know, like Ollie Behrman there being like, "What's going on?"
Right? What's going on? Exactly. Right? He's the peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Or you could do Max, George, and Santino.
Oh, fiery. Very fiery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very fun.
Yes.
I wouldn't even want to be the person in charge of handling them.
No. Oh God, that would be terrible.
Listen, it would make great television.
Oh, it would be so good.
Yep.
I would want like
That's a team of villains right there.
Yeah.
Talk about there's no villains. That would be a villainous team.
I need a show just for them. Like 100 Days to Indy, but just for that team.
Yeah.
Just, yep.
Okay, for me, let's see. I would do Bottas. I think he would do really well in IndyCar.
I think so.
Yeah, he would.
I would do let's see.
Ricardo. Danny Rick would be I think he loves America. America loves him.
Yep.
He just needs to come to
over.
Oh my
Come
gosh,
over.
he would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
Such a big
Right?
face.
But did you guys hear he broke his collarbone?
I know.
I did.
Yeah.
He got into like what is that, ATV crash or something like
so.
that? He would, but like
right?
he's okay.
Classic
Like-
Danny.
Mm-hmm.
these drivers breaking their collarbones, like it's just like whatever.
No, we always joke. We
Right.
always joke like the amount of like bike incidents that cause these drivers like injuries. We're like, keep the drivers off bikes, like 4 wheels only.
I know. Well, I mean, these poor guys, they've got adrenaline rushes. Like they can't, they can't stay off of anything that moves. I can't even imagine what the break is right now, what these guys are doing. They're all sitting on boats in the middle of like the of the Atlantic Ocean right now. So I don't know.
It's got to move the needle, right? Like,
it does.
You have to find things that move the needle. I don't know. I feel like, I know might be controversial, but like a Denny Hamlin in IndyCar would be really fun. Just because he's got that, like, I don't give two rats butts about, like what you think about me kind of thing. And I just would love to see it because as a Polish girly, I would love to see Robert Kubica in an IndyCar. Just once.
Yeah.
Just once.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's like last on his list. He's driven everything else.
Yeah.
So like you might as well
just add it.
Just give me a shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the best.
Just do the 500. Just do it.
He's such, oh my God, he's such a hero.
Yeah.
When I started watching all the racing stuff, like my parents were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm watching motorsports, whatever." And my dad was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, it's fun, whatever." And he's like, "Wait, is Kubica still racing?" And I was like, "Yeah." Yep. And he's like, "Okay, I get it now. I get why you're doing it." And it's like, okay, he is like the treasure of Polish motorsports. Got it.
100%.
Everyone in Poland knows who he is.
Oh yeah. Yes. Oh yeah.
The Polish radio when he won Le Mans was like, it was insane. Like it was like he won, like, and I'm like, I could only imagine what it was like when he was actually like racing and doing well before his accident. But like he is, you do not put Kubica's name in vain at all around Polish people.
The Italians love him too, because I know he trained a lot in Italy. He speaks fluent Italian. My dad was also very emotional when he won Le Mans as well.
Everybody wants to see him thrive.
Yeah.
There are like quite a few like race car drivers, like even like Alex Palou, like when people like talk about how like he's dominating, like I really don't hear a lot of like people rooting against him. Like they might be being like, okay, like let's change it up, but like they're never like, you don't see how it was with like Max Verstappen. Like people like actively rooted against Max because of, I think it was partly how he handled it in the media for sure, where Alex definitely doesn't act that way. But it is interesting. Like, there are just some drivers where you're like, they don't have like any haters. Like, and it just, and like Alex Palou is one of them. Like, I don't know. It's just so interesting. Like what changes things. Like I know last year, like Oscar in F1, like everybody like loved him, and he definitely has more haters this year, which
yes, he does.
I love Oscar Piastri, but of course they're gonna find something. But it is so interesting, like it's so funny to see what is chosen as like, who is chosen as like they can do no wrong, they're perfect, they're the best.
I mean, it has to do with personality and how you're perceived really in the media. I mean, Max from the beginning was never really a media guy. He's very internal. He hates being on camera. I think the only person that really made him look good was Danny. Yeah. If you ever see like when they were team members, they were like sugar and spice together. They love, you know what I mean? But same with Oscar. I mean, I think everyone has a soft spot for Lando, that he's so like self-deprecating and he's like so depressed in the media right now, and everyone's blaming Oscar because of it. But like, you still have to respect their talent and what they're bringing to the team. Like it is incredibly fun to watch. I mean, and you're on the edge of your seat with all of these races.
And I think with social media especially, right, like some of these drivers don't want to do the social stuff. They don't want to do the trends. Like Isaac and Liam, like on the Racing Bulls, like they are on every single trend and all of this.
That's very entertaining to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy watching. And I'm not a Liam fan, but like I do look forward to see what they're going to have each race.
So I think that adds a little bit of that pressure too, of like those who are not that visible, like the Maxes of the world, like there's more room for like more hatred there, because people are like, they're looking for the cute, goofy, funny guy, right? They're looking for like that kind of person. And some of these guys are not it, right? And that's what I love about IndyCar, is that they're not media trained. So you get that raw like edge to it, but it's like you don't see Scott Dixon doing TikTok dances, right? Because Scott is just like a genuinely nice human being, and that's how he's been his whole career. That's great. But like, you know, you see other drivers and they have these major PR teams and social teams or whatever, and people are still like, nah, I'm not going to like you. Sorry. You can't change my mind. Right.
It's like,
well, even like, and even before social media, I mean, like, why does everyone love Ayrton Senna so much? It's because of like how his personality was. He was giving back to his community. I mean, Niki Lauda is a fantastic driver. Was a fantastic driver, right? But like, he did not have the same personality. He had a very antisocial personality, right? He said things how it was, you know. So it's all about how you're perceived and how you're interviewed in the media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, social media, I think, plays a huge part too, because it's like now, like, to be successful in IndyCar and in Formula One, it's almost like you need to obviously be a great driver, but you need to be like marketable as well, because sponsorship is so big. To where, like, even just looking, which, you know, from last year to this year, Christian Rasmussen's having a fantastic year on the track. Like, he is proven that he, you know, is sometimes slightly insane with his driving, but like, he is a great driver. Like, he's willing to go for all of these, you know, all of these passes. But he also, I think, feel like he's elevated his social media game so much, and he's elevated his presence to where he's become so marketable. Like, even he's like, I'm not used to seeing, like, I was never seeing like people with like my jersey on. I was never seeing people with like my merch or like the friendship bracelets. And from last year to this year, the difference. And I think that makes him a more valuable like team member, because people are going to the races to see him versus going to the races to see the car or the team or any, you know, like Pato's the same way. Everyone like is a huge Pato fan. He brings in so many fans to where, you know, comparing him and his two teammates, while Nolan and Christian do have a pretty good fan base as well, he is always seen as like the star of McLaren, not just for his driving, but just because he has so many fans. And I think that's just a huge thing. You can't just be a good race car driver anymore.
No. And he is very photogenic, because I also, like last year when we were in Road America, I snuck a picture with him and we look like best friends. Like, he like got so close to me, and Monica was too scared to take a picture. So I'm like, screw it, I'm going to jump in. And like, we literally look like BFFs. And like, that's just, he just makes all of his fans, all the people around him, just like have that feeling, you know?
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting because like Marcus Armstrong, right? Like, he had the Screaming Meals podcast. He had like this he had this virtual persona. They had like all of these things. But now that that's gone, I feel like he's kind of gone to the wayside a little bit. Like, his driving is great. He's doing a really great job. But I do think that last year, due to some like things on and off track, I think that with that podcast going away and that personality coming forward a little bit, I feel like he's missing that now. Like, he had it. Like, the amount of people I would see just being like, backbone. When he's walking by, I was like, you know, we had a community, but now I feel like that's missing. And I did not have a very nice experience with Marcus Armstrong at the 500. And I've heard other people have had similar experiences. And those things, while I may have ranted about it a little bit, like, I didn't, it's on the internet. It's on there now.
It does make a huge difference.
It does.
Yep.
That's how, like...
Yeah, it really does.
I saw the Screaming Meals podcast when I was watching F1, and I was like, what is this? And then I started watching it, and that's how I got into IndyCar, and, like, I'm like, oh, man, like, now, like, it's gone, and, like, you know, seeing this, I'm like, oh, man.
With social media, too, like, everything is so, like, transparent. Like, everything, you can see everything. So, like you said, like, you know, yes, you like talked about your experience with him, and while you're just one person, like, you have people listening in and you have people seeing that post, and it really proves that, like, you have to, like, be conscious of stuff like that. Like, again, like, I think sometimes it is, you know, in the past, like, a lot of people like really loved like the hardcore, like, no nonsense drivers that are like, you know, rude to the media and maybe like don't want to have a conversation and are almost like this like whole like aura part of it. But it's definitely like getting away from them. We're like, oh, like, if you're an asshole, like, I'm not going to be a fan of you. Like, I don't want to be a fan of an asshole.
And It's hard because like I consider myself an introvert. Like I need time to like charge my social battery. Like, and it's being in a sport like that, and like social media and like the friendliness, and you have to talk to people and stuff like that. I'm sure it's draining.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I also have a picture with Colton Herta, and he would not smile for me at all. And he looked so miserable in that picture with me. And I was just like, at first I was like, dude, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I really wanted a good picture, but like, then you're like, I get it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be that hard on them. They're still people.
Yeah.
They, if they had a crap race, the last thing they want is a camera or fans or something, like something being stuck in their face and being mortalized forever.
Yeah.
So we try and think about that a little bit. I'm sure, especially like at the 500, I don't know if you guys got the opportunity to do the autograph session in the beginning.
We didn't do it for the 500, but we did it for Mid Ohio.
Okay. It's so we've done it at other races, and it's definitely just the sheer chaos that it is in on the 500 day. I can't even imagine just like how overwhelming it is for these drivers. So like, it's intense. It's really, really intense.
Fan behavior can be in a whole other podcast about like etiquette and things like that. Like the amount of times, like I think we were at Road America and like Dixie, like he did not get through to like the Fast 12, and he's like trying to walk back to his, motorhome and stuff. And like, this person's just running after them with like a die cast being like, sign it. And I'm like, yo, read the room. Right. Like, I get it. It's Scott Dixon. That's amazing. It's incredible. But like shoving something in their face or in their camera, then it goes to Twitter or wherever it goes. Right. And then people start talking about it. And then it turns into this big media thing.
Yep.
And Indycar gives us access.
Yes.
If we start acting like assholes, they're going to revoke our access.
Yeah.
So let's behave, everybody, because we're going to lose this, just like they do in F1, where the drivers are now 7,000 feet away because we couldn't handle ourselves.
Yeah.
It's that thing too, right? It's about balance, right? Pato will sign anything. He'll stop and do whatever. Even before the race, he's like taking photos and everything. And I'm like, okay,
Like,
all right.
Yeah.
We gotta
leave him alone. Let him go do his thing. He's got to get in his own, right?
Like they're also like working. Like this is their job.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you see some parasocial things, unfortunately, and like that's also been like crossed my mind. It's like we are going to lose this.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to see.
It is. Well, and then also too, like I think it's hard because like I know a couple months ago or a couple races ago, everyone was like getting on like Joseph Newgarden. Like, have you like seen how this season he's had? Of course he's in a bad mood. He's not going to go around smiling, talking about how he loves his job right now. Like, obviously, he is going through something. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt here. I'm sure he's going to bounce
just like everybody else.
Exactly.
It's okay to cry in your car, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes he just needs to go cry in the car for a little bit and just let him do that.
If he needs to go for a run, let him go for a run.
Yeah, let him go for his run.
Let him do it.
Oh, when they were filming him, I was like, really, guys? Like, you're
just
running.
leave him alone.
Like, let him do his run.
Yeah.
Like, we were at dinner one night, and we were at this Italian place in Sheboygan, and Hinch was there with his family and like his wife, and they were having dinner, and it was a very weird experience because like we listened to the Off Track podcast, so I'm like, I know that voice. What's going on? But some of the behavior of these people, like they were banging on the walls and banging on the windows and being like, hey, doing this and taking photos, and of course he's such a nice guy, he's like waving and stuff like that, but I'm like,
Leave
really?
him alone. Yeah.
You're a grown adult. Like use some thought process here of like, would you want that to be what your dinner is like?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, the adults,
it's that
it's
thing.
always like the adults too. It's like, use your frontal lobe. Like you have it for a reason.
Use your frontal
Yeah.
lobe.
It's
I'm
so
gonna start
silly.
saying that.
It was like, I know.
So silly.
And it was specifically, it was like a group of men that they were like,
Checks
you
out.
know,
Yeah,
you know what I
absolutely,
mean? Like,
Just
leave
Just
them alone. Just don't do that.
Don't do that.
At Mid-Ohio, we had a friend who she ended up at a restaurant that like some of the Fox team was at, or I guess it was last year, so NBC, and she just like told her server, she was like, hey, you can like offer those people right there, like a drink on my tab if they want it. If they say no, like it's totally fine. And then like they did that. She didn't even interact with them, but she saw Georgia the next day, and Georgia was like, "That was you that got us the drink or whatever, or like offered it, whatever."
Oh, that's cool.
And she's like, "Thank you." And then I'm like, "That's perfect. Like you could do something like that if you wanted." But, like going up to them and like in their faces while they're having a dinner. Come on.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine having even like I would feel uncomfortable doing that. Like much less how I'm making
we
you
were
feel,
cringing.
but like I'm like
yeah.
I can't even like gain like the bravery to go up and be like, "Hey, I know you're eating and I'm interrupting, but like
let me jump in your face with the camera."
Right.
I know. Like, so I'm the brave one with as far as like if we do see a famous person, but I only do that at the track.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, just on race days and things like that. Like I am no stranger to run up to somebody and be like, "Take a picture with me."
Yeah.
But like, there's a time and place.
For
and
sure.
At dinner on, you know, when they're with their family, absolutely not.
Yeah. Agreed.
People could learn a lesson or two.
Yeah.
Listen to this right here. Learn from us.
Yeah. Let's clip this.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll post that one for sure. Okay, we're going to get into our game. So it's going to be a who's most likely to. This is just silly and fun. You can have some fun answers.
It can be any of the drivers.
Yeah, any of the drivers on
Okay.
the IndyCar grid. The first one is who on the grid would be most likely to go to Disney on Ice? And we're going to have a category of drivers with children, but also drivers without children.
Most likely to go, like just to be a spectator and watch it, you're saying? Okay. I think like one of the funnest people on the grid, I think, is Connor Daly. And I think he would have, like, he's very animated and things like that. I think that he would have a great time.
Yeah.
And he would be fun to go with to something like that. Yeah. Oh, I love Connor.
Yeah.
I think he's awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I feel like Robert Schwartzman would eat that up.
He would enjoy it so much.
Right?
He'd have the light up like
he would.
thing.
He'd have Elsa's
right?
wand.
He'd have his like
some cotton candy.
Yeah, he'd have his snow clone. Like
Yes.
like I can feel him being like, "This is the American experience I have been wanting." Like that's what I feel like he would do.
It would be his idea. Like he wouldn't say yes to the invite. He would be the one that sent out the invite. It was like, "Guys, we should totally go to this."
Yeah.
I could see him being a Disney adult, right?
Yeah.
Like running around like Disney World too.
Yeah,
like
actually,
I think, for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's funny too because like the first two people that you think of, neither of them have kids.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, right. I know, just the personalities, because like, well, and talk about somebody who is very like introverted. Alex Rossi, who just had a child.
Oh, yeah.
I just like, part of me just like wants to see him there, just to be like, how many eye rolls can he do, and how like angry and curmudgeon that he would be.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Scott Dixon would have a great time there with his kids.
He'd love to bring his
Yes, with his kids, I think
kids.
so,
The whole
for
family
sure.
there.
Yeah, but the difference is that he's going like because his kids want to go and he loves his kids so much. Where like Robert and Connor are like they're just going for the love of the game.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
They're the Disney adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're starting a rumor.
Yeah.
Well, and let's not forget about Joseph Newgarden. He married a Disney princess.
That's
True. That is
You
true.
know, so he probably would fit in pretty well too. I know he's got kids, so yeah.
Oh, he would
Perfect.
love that.
We'll send an invite out to the whole grid. See who shows up.
Yeah. See who shows.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. Have you guys seen the Hamilton trend on TikTok right now?
I have not.
There's
I'm not
a
there.
trend on TikTok right now, and it's people dressing up like Alexander Hamilton, like from the Hamilton play, and then they're just like singing the lyrics and kind of being like funny and silly about it. So we said who most likely on the IndyCar grid would dress up like Alexander Hamilton and then basically go live on TikTok cosplaying as Alexander Hamilton.
I mean, Pato,
Yeah.
right? Like, what more theatrical person
So
do you
true,
want than Pato? I think.
I think
right?
Pato definitely should have. He would have been a musical theater kid. Like if he didn't do race car
for
driving,
sure.
he would have been a musical theater kid.
Absolutely.
Or like an
100%.
actor or something. Yeah, he was made for people to watch him in some sort of capacity. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I could feel like Nolan would do it. I feel like he gives off like trend. Like I feel like David Malukas is like the obvious answer here because he's like the trend king. But like I could see Nolan have like the getup.
Mhm.
I feel
yeah.
like he has a wardrobe that would be able to for him to do that.
He'll have the candle
Yeah.
in the satchel.
And he doesn't have to buy any of that.
Yeah,
He
no.
has it already in his closet. Like, he's like, oh yeah, you all don't have a spare Alexander Hamilton costume hanging around?
Yeah, what?
That's so crazy. It has to be a driver that's like willing to make a fool of themselves. And I think that's kind of hard to find in a race car driver. Like, I feel like most drivers in general, even across the board in all series, like a lot of them don't like to look like a fool, but the ones that like don't care, like completely are like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll dress up. Like, even like just again, like Pierre, like Isaac and like Liam in F1, like they would absolutely dress up like Alexander Hamilton, but like you couldn't see like Rossi and even like Christian Rasmussen, like they wouldn't do that. It'd be like, absolutely
no, they're too
not.
serious. Yeah, no.
But it is funny to think about them, even them dressing up in general, but like them going live and being like, hey guys, here I am.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, if Christian Rasmussen did the Hamilton like Alexander come back to sleep trend right after the Connor and him beef, I feel like that would have been golden, where it's like Connor trying to talk to Raz and he's like, I have to go, right? Like, I feel like that was a moment that he should have, you know, done, but
missed opportunity.
Yeah, that would have been so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, our next one is, who do you think on the grid secretly watches the show The Summer I Turned Pretty?
I feel like Scotty Mac is a Summer I Turned Pretty kind of person.
Absolutely.
Scotty Mac, how funny would it be if like Colton too? Colton would be, he's so serious.
I could see Colton.
But like he like secretly likes to watch like rom-coms and like sappy stuff like that.
And he's like diehard Team Conrad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Scotty Mac like definitely has the like taste of like a teenage girl. Like they like the same things. Like he like loved Love Island. Like his music taste. Like he like him and like a teenage girl would have like a lot of similar interests. Like they would be able to discuss like Team Conrad, Team Jeremiah for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. His daughter is growing up in like the perfect household to be like, hey,
he was
what's
made
up?
to be a girl dad.
That's what it is.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and we have one more. It's who on the grid would be most. Who do you think would? Whoa, I said that so weird. Who on the grid do you think most likely would be a storm chaser? Like they're out there with a crazy car, like
driving straight into a tornado.
Yeah. I don't know. Like we had a fun interaction with Graham at the Indy 500. I feel like he's got that like energy that he would totally do something like that. I don't know if you saw our video on that. He's very chatty. Like he was very so I think he would be good. Like he would be probably like talking through it too. Like be like a meteorologist or something like that. That he I feel like he would have that personality.
Yes, I agree.
So I think for current grid, I don't know why, but Callum gives me like, I check the radar, I want to go check it out energy.
Yes.
But off the grid, Ed Carpenter, 100%.
Yeah.
Give Ed the show. I feel like he would get so nerdy with it. And Rossi can come and do like little, like, you know, he can be his co-pilot. But I feel like Ed Carpenter has a job in, you know, meteorology and storm chasing.
It has to be.
Well, they probably all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he has
they
to. It has
all
to be
have
someone,
like some sort of interest.
Yeah, it has to be someone that has like a good balance of like, oh, I can like a nerd out about this, but also I have like no like sense of like self safety.
Yeah,
like I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna drive right, and there has to be a balance. And I do think Ed Carpenter, he sounds like the perfect guy for the job.
I think Kyle Kirkwood. Like he was out there in Iowa, like watching that storm.
That's true.
Like,
we did have
the Andretti on that picture, and everyone was like, "Kyle, get inside,
get into the storm bunker right now."
Well, right, and he does like the deep sea fishing stuff too down in Florida. That he's like catching like marlins and things like that. Yeah, he's got no sense of danger.
He's got that. At the end of the day, he's got that Florida man in him. And yes, they will go stand outside the Florida man during the storm for sure.
100%. Yep.
Kyle Kirkwood, deadliest catch. Let's go. Let's do it.
I would watch that.
Yeah, need to see that happen. Need to see that
in a hurricane.
Crossover.
Like
I'm finding these while this one is coming at me.
Yeah, no, that was good. Any other questions you have?
I thought you were about to ask something else, so I paused. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Well, I mean, this has been so much fun. Are you all planning on, you're doing Milwaukee this year? Do you have any other races planned for the future that you are trying to go to next year, maybe?
I know we had talked about the Dallas race, the Texas race. I think that would be pretty cool. My brother lives in Dallas, so that would be kind of easy.
Awesome.
That would be a lot of fun. I know like Laguna Seca is always on our radar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. We've talked about going back to Indy. Like that took a lot out of us to do that because like there was, something every day. So I think that's like every few years we'll do something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely going back to Road America. We're probably going to go to Milwaukee as well. Any of like the Midwest races that are a little bit easier to get to. I think that's most likely where we're going to be.
Yeah. I would love to go to the Dallas race. To be there like the first year too would be so cool. I'm also, my fingers are still crossed for a Mexico race.
Yes.
I would love, because I've always wanted to go to a race in Mexico, and originally I was like, I'm going to have to go to a Formula One race there, and now I'm like, IndyCar, please. So, one, probably much more affordable, but two, like, again, it's just the access. It would be amazing.
Really cool. I think that would be super cool.
Fingers crossed for that one.
I think we're just waiting for the I to be dotted. It's just when. I think that's what we're waiting for is like finalizing the date. But Pato, like they need to vlog that entire weekend around Pato. Like I'm so happy for him, and I can't believe that it took him being a jerk and a meme and to make Mark Miles eat his words is like the best thing that like the Pato Who movement.
Oh, it's amazing.
Is the best thing he's ever did.
Beautiful.
For sure.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. It was so much fun. If you want to give a quick shout out with your socials for everyone to follow you.
Yeah, we're Lappin' Like It's Hot on all major social platforms. So just look us there, and we're on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, and of course YouTube and all the and Spotify and Apple.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
for
guys.
having us.
This was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Awesome. Bye.